Solana has flipped Ethereum on another critical metric. And we are seeing many of these different metrics coming into play right now with huge amounts of interest flowing back into Solana. And when you start to understand what's going on behind some of these things, it's easy to understand why people want to use Solana, why there's all this hype going on. And of course, that hype and the price narrative is being strengthened further by meme coins like Bonk going absolutely freaking crazy. So in this video, let's discuss Solana and some of the big things happening on chain with Solana. And of course, just a quick note, I do own a very small amount of Solana, like 30, 40 SOL or something like that I use for airdrop farming on the chain, not an investment amount. Obviously, investing in cryptocurrency is risky. You can and probably will lose all your money. Link down below in the description, you can find a full risk statement as well as my portfolio disclosures. Now let's talk about the price of Solana at a very interesting place right now. So this is the chart for Solana. Still 75% under its all-time highs, by the way, just FYI. But this orange line on the chart here shows us something very fascinating because that's where the price is currently. Over the past 2 weeks, we've come and smashed like a rocket, just flying to the moon, but then smashing into the moon and exploding, sort of like that, into this wall of resistance. We see over the past few weeks, prices faltered there, and we are currently, perhaps hopefully just consolidating for the next big leg up, although coming back down to test support if the wider market saw a sell-off would not be surprising either. Anyway, this key area right here around 75 bucks, that takes us way back into the time, back to the simpler days of 2022. Right here, you can see market support came right down to this area of around $75 to $78, the previous level of support. So what we have seen over the past 2 weeks is that previous support is now acting as resistance. We need to overcome that level. Not many levels beyond that, to be honest. Oh, there's a few we can watch out for, this big area here around the $145 or whatever, for example, big previous areas of price resistance. But the big one is this, because this is the major support line that we had previously. And that support line is now resistance. So we have to break over that with some definitive volume and momentum. We've had the volume and momentum blasting us up into this line. I mean, look at the past few weeks for Solana. It's been absolute insanity. Since the start of October, we've seen Solana go from 20 bucks to 75 bucks. Absolute insanity. Absolute insanity. Crazy run for Solana. So, of course, congratulations to all the Solana degens out there, all Solana holders, Solana believers. You guys have been well rewarded for your patience. Now, that's not the flip, but I did want to talk about the price action real quick. This is the flip. This is the crazy news right here. Solana has flipped Ethereum in 24-hour decentralized exchange volume for the first time in history. First time in history. Solana doing 1.475 billion to Ethereum's 1.16 billion. Pretty crazy stuff. Solana also doing other things like flipping the BINANCE chain in daily active users, now up over 1 million daily active users on Solana. Do you see what is happening here? If you want to go and make a swap on Uniswap right now, it costs like $32. The time of recording. Sometimes it's only $18, sometimes it's 50, 60 bucks. And this is before total bull run mania takes off. If you want to do a swap on the Jupiter exchange, which is the decentralized exchange on the Solana network, it costs $0.0015. So about 1/5 or 1/6 of a cent. $32 or 1/6 of a cent. Where do you think retail traders are going to go? The place where you have to spend a few hours of your wages, half your day's wages in some cases, maybe an hour of wages just to do one transaction, or the place where you can do 500 transactions for $1. The choice is going to be pretty obvious for a lot of people. Is it obvious to you? Because that ease of access is going to bring in a lot of money. So all these Solana ecosystem plays, the main Sol asset probably going to have a great market cycle during this bull run, but the Solana ecosystem plays are in many cases relatively quite undervalued compared to their Ethereum equivalents. Feel the smell for there. Of course, a lot of airdrops as well that can be farmed very cheaply on Solana. We've seen big airdrops coming out already, whether it be Pith or Jito, which of course we covered some of those in the newsletter. In fact, we did a little analysis here recently of the top 5 airdrops we've covered in the Wealth Master newsletter in just 2023. $30,000 is the number we came up with. Just the top 5 airdrops that we covered before the airdrops happened. Had you been paying attention, had you taken action, you could have made $30K this year just by reading our newsletter. Not a bad deal, huh? Anyway, it's free. Over 90,000 people a week read it. Full of airdrop alpha, altcoin deep dive reports, technical analysis on altcoins, all the latest news, obviously, because this is a newsletter. Sign up down below using the link for free and get signed up today to start receiving those reports to your inbox. Okay, so newsletter plug over. We are seeing money come back into the Solana network as well. This is very interesting. So look, obviously, total value locked in Solana, $1 billion right now. Not bad, but way off from the heydays of the top of the market cycle. We had $10 billion in Solana. It's been a long, slow grind down. In fact, we got as low as about $200 million on Solana. This is right when everybody thought Solana is dead. It's never coming back. It is over. Now, we are seeing, of course, a very big turnaround because we've seen a recent rally up over $1 billion. Money has been steadily re-entering the Solana ecosystem, chasing all those airdrops, chasing all of the opportunities on chain here. Very interesting as well to see the super, super low fees. This is Anatoly Yakovenko. He said it's pretty wild that the average user transaction fee is still only 0.0004651 cents. Or is that Solana? Solana. Dirt cheap, aka super, super cheap transactions. What's interesting is a statement, though. We know it's cheap. We've just discussed that. But what's interesting is a statement here. He said every other design can only be marginally better than Solana. It's a reminder that stuff like Solana's Fire Dancer going to get you up to 1.2 million transactions, all for a fraction of a penny. It's going to be hard to beat Solana. Now, look, we have all kinds of interesting novel infrastructure out there. Polygon and their supernets, Avalanche and their subnets, Ethereum and their layer 2s, all this kind of stuff. But Solana, all on layer 1. Huge throughput transaction potential and very, very low fees. We have not seen the crazy fee spikes on Solana. We've seen plague so many other networks. Also, we're seeing huge NFT sales volume happen over on Solana. It's actually down about 40% this week. But over the past week, we've seen on average around 50% more Solana NFT volume than Ethereum. Now, Bitcoin right now at number 1, which is very surprising to anybody who has been paying attention to Bitcoin for the past 10 years. We have big time NFTs happening on Bitcoin right now with the ordinals and the inscriptions and all that stuff going on. Huge, huge sales. Absolutely wild, wild, wild to see what's going on. And of course, Bitcoin devs are tearing their hair out. No, you're not supposed to do that with Bitcoin, man. It's happening, bros. It's happening. Anyway, Solana, firmly number 2 place right now, which is very interesting. Obviously, it's a smaller margin now because we do see volumes down quite a bit in the last week, but still pretty crazy. Now, we'll see more NFTs come back into the Solana ecosystem without a doubt. Space Cadet here pointing out Sol at ETH current market cap $630, just the current market cap. Sol at ETH all-time high market cap $1,336. So still a 20x opportunity if you think it can go that high. I mean, look at the metrics we've just been discussing. Where do you think money is going to go when the retail herd starts coming back in? Do they want to pay $30 for a transaction? And of course, when the markets really take off and we're really seeing the frenzy, it's going to be $60, $100 for a transaction. I think the most I ever paid for a transaction on Ethereum is like $250. I remember there was one day I had to do a bunch of stuff on like MakerDAO and the whole thing, not the single transaction, but the whole situation ended up costing me like almost $1,000 in gas fees. Market was crazy. You need to do the things. That's ridiculous. You're ridiculous sometimes, ETH. That same event, done on Solana would have cost me like 5 cents, maybe 10 cents, maybe 10 cents. Break the bank at 10 cents here. It's a big comparison, isn't it? Absolute wild stuff. Money flowing back in, as Patrick Scott pointing out, says nearly $200 million of stablecoins have flowed into Solana over the last month. Pretty big move. Liquidity injections are what you need for asset prices to go up. Essentially, we're seeing more service providers like Hashflow, for example, starting to integrate with Solana. So Hashflow now available to do trades with Solana as well. So that was part of their 2.0 launch last week, the first big upgrade for the Hashflow protocol. Smart. Tap into that liquidity, boys. Get it. Solana liquidity is going to be huge because, again, the value proposition is very, very clear for a lot of new users coming to the space, and it's the hyped chain right now. Look, there's not that Solana is the only blockchain out there that has dirt cheap fees. Lots of other blockchains can have very, very low fees as well, but it's got the narrative and it's running with the narrative. That's the important thing. Stuff like Bonk is also helping. Solana devs, by the way, got a Bonk airdrop worth $300 at Christmas, now worth $500,000 for those who kept it. Wonder if anyone kept it. Anyway, this kind of magic money-making event like Bonk, this gets people's attention. People look and go, whoa, somebody bought a dog coin and now they're worth millions. I want to do that. Of course, that's, meme coins in general. Meme coins tend to pop off like this and have outsized gains due to their outsized risk for a small minority of people who get it right. Most people lose all their money in meme coins particularly, but still, this is a big liquidity wealth creation event on the Solana blockchain. And then there was the damn mobile phone. This thing sold out because apparently back when they made the phone, they put in the Solana wallet on the phone, at the time, what was a $10 airdrop worth of Bonk tokens. And now those Bonk tokens, just from the airdrop, just from this one thing, there's other airdrops and stuff that are going to come to token holders for the phones. But anyway, just that one single airdrop is worth twice the price of the phone. That's crazy. This is literally a phone that pays you hundreds of dollars to buy it. Wild stuff, man. Wild stuff. Solana, keep on nailing it out. I hope you appreciate the updates, and I'll see you in the next video.